So how many kids do you got at this point?
4.
4.
3
okay.
boys and 1 girl.
And what ages are we looking at with the boys?
18, 16, about to be 10, and then 1.
So she is seeing a very different Trae the Truth than what potentially the boys saw.
By far.
How would you say that you and your parenting style has changed with age? 18 years, a long time.
It's always different with it is and it ain't, but it's always different. Back then when they used to say you have a girl, but I didn't really understand until I had her. Because now a lot of stuff I wouldn't be cool with doing back then. It don't even bother me now.
Right.
Imagine seeing Trae The Truth walking through an aquarium with a baby backpack on that she's sitting in the pouch in front of my stomach while we just cool.
Right.
So, it don't. When it comes to your kids, man, especially your little girls, everything goes. You're gonna do whatever to make them happy.
Definitely. There was that whole situation that came up where the guy who played James Bond, that they had a photo of him wearing his baby on his chest, and then I forget who it was, but some late night host was trying to clown on him for that, and it was such a big controversy. He's like, how can you clown someone? Yeah, it looks a little goofy, but he's taking care of his kid.
Yeah, definitely. When you really care about your kids, it don't matter anyway. And then when you type of cat I am, ain't nothing they can say that's really gonna shift what I got going on anyway, because I'm still gonna be respected the same.
Specifically, were you ever worried about having a daughter in comparison to just having all these boys? Because it's like now you know what it's like to take a child to adulthood with a boy. The girl's like a different challenge, huh?
Yeah, it definitely something that'll spook you, and it's gonna be a challenge. It's not even gonna be a challenge just the first 18. It's gonna be a challenge her whole life, because at the end of the day, you gotta protect her. And see, with my daughter, she lives in LA, so I stay in Houston. So my biggest fear is something happening and I can't get here fast enough. So, I'm real precautious when it comes to.
Right.
Yeah.
You've always sort of had that protector gene in you. It's always kind of been a big part of how people view you. Have you always felt like that since you were young? Were you like the man of the house to a certain extent?
I wouldn't say I was the man of the house when I was younger. It was just always something about me that I always looked out for people. And, at the end of the day, I'm loyal as they come. If I'm with you to the end. And we're going to either crash out together or we're going to win together. So I've always been that way with anybody I got genuine love for. And I think that kind of just stuck with me. And now it's so crazy. It's just in my kids too. Well, not so her yet, because she ain't sharing nothing with nobody. She don't give a damn. But the boys and them, they always, it'd be to the point my youngest son, baby Houston, he'll hit me. Oh yeah, I was just hitting you to make sure you're straight, you're good. So it'd be cool. But with my kids, I got the homeboy relationship. I don't do the strict daddy. Like, I don't with my kids, I don't do none of that, man. Like, we gonna hold a conversation.
Right.
And then you can come talk to me about anything. I'm gonna tell you if you're tripping, I'm gonna tell you if it's a good move or,
Because when you have a boy, and I guess you've seen this straight up, so you can tell me what it's like, but it seems like...
You ain't got no kids yet?
Nah, not yet.
Definitely gonna change your life.
The older I get, the more I feel like when I say that the dudes I'm talking to on here are kind of like, oh, like, you got to get on that. Like, you might not have much time, bro. You got to pump some kids up.
No, I mean, it's always time, but you definitely gonna want that experience, man. You're gonna want to wake up to see a younger you. It's gonna trip you out to see them doing stuff, and they don't even knowingly do it. They just do stuff that's gonna remind you of you, and it's gonna you just sit back amazed, tripped out, just the thought process. But then the flip side of that, you can't even get mad when they go to wilding out, especially if you was wilding out. So
yeah,
that's the other part of it.
Oh man, you're making me feel like I gotta go home and get to work. But no, okay, when you're raising a boy, it's kind of like you could raise them in this bubble where you're sort of protecting them from everything around you, protecting them from the swear words and the people smoking weed and the way that people talk about women, etc. But it's kind of like at a certain point, your son is probably just going to become one of the guys who's just going to be in the room while you're with your friends having a conversation. So it's kind of like, do you want to try to shield them for as long as possible and then just abruptly introduce them to the real world? Or do you want to try to help them blend in from the beginning?
I show mine off the rip anytime, because the game I give them and the street knowledge of exposing them to certain stuff, it makes them not, when kids come up, the cool thing is when you're curious or you're trying to show out for the other homies. So you go to do stuff to prove yourself. But when you expose it to them right off the rip, when other kids go to do that, they looking like, man, my old man been showed me that. Like, that don't excite me. You're not even gonna get me to do that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I know this may be cool or this may be lame. So mine, they always been exposed to everything way early. So they still able to be a kid, but they sharp enough to have street smart, way more advanced than the average child. So you kind of give them the best of both worlds.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if not, what if I brought one around you and I wasn't how I am with them, then you like, well, man, let's go do this, or let's go. I'm about to go. No offense, you could say I'm about to go do a shroom, or we about to go.
That's the vibe you get from me.
I'll just give you an example though.
That's
but
cool.
The point
I appreciate
is,
you giving me that instead of like blow or Molly or something. Yeah.
You the first thing came to mind. So
I got my shrooms right now. Imagine. Yeah, but that's the thing is that, I mean, when you think about who you are now as an adult, it's because you've been through the ringer. All this stuff that you either did or you found out about or you thought was cool and then you did it and you learned from it. It's all because you actually been through that. And it's a lot to expect a young kid to be able to learn from example. But the closer you can get them to it, then the better the chance is that when they're 12 and their friend is like, yo, let's go shoplift from the Walmart, that they're going to be like, that's some goofy stuff.
Gun, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look at this gun. Your son,
none of that.
Nah, I don't need that.
Yeah. And, it just is, I instill in them, they just got to be leaders, point blank period. Yeah.
Definitely. I was listening to a project today. There's a song, Sliding. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's the single right now.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a good guesser then because I didn't know that. But that was the one that stood out to me. It had a little bit of West Coast type bounce to it a little bit.
Yeah, I felt like I needed, especially with my daughter here, and, I got a lot of ties out here. It's just like I wanted to keep that part of the culture on my project too, because I'm out here a lot, you know what I'm saying? And everything else is dominantly me,
right.
As far as Houston. But yeah, definitely that one, it give you that good turn up youngin' vibe, you know what I'm saying? So
it felt like you kind of started the album out on a little bit more of a somber vibe. Like there's a lot of songs on it that sort of stand out as, that you've been going through stuff, like in terms of the Nipsey thing, like that influence is clearly felt throughout the project, that sadness and that reflection.
I think, man, at the time, and I tell people, at the time I was going through the Nipsey thing, then, I'm fighting a custody case as far as with my daughter, because, I only get to see her once a month. So just everything was like, I was just getting pulled in so many directions, and I just felt like I had to just let it out. Sometimes when you may walk outside and just go in the middle of Melrose and just scream just out of frustration, but once you get it out,
right,
you're going to figure out what's next. And I think that's what it was with this project.
That makes sense. Can we talk about how you actually met Nipsey and what the relationship was like?
Somebody asked me that earlier. I honestly don't remember when the first time we met.
Really?
But we've been around a long time. That's been family more than anything. As far as the music, we got songs together, but we've always been close as brothers in general. And
was that something where you just met him and immediately felt some sort of energy between each other?
No, I honestly, I'm gonna have to really sit and think of when we met, man, because we got a long history.
Right.
Even if you go back to look at some of the first times I was doing different stuff in the community, he's been there with me. You know what I'm saying? So we got a long history, man. And I used to pop in LA all the time and just pull up on him, or we'll end up meeting, like I remember many times I would come, even though he lived here, he would always be at different hotels. Hey, bro, I'm staying here for these next few days. Pull up, what you got going on, or how you gonna be moving around? Cool, come pick up the truck, and then, we'll meet back up in a day or so, or whatever. It's just like we always just had our own relationship, just family, like brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
When so you guys always just sort of got along real well together. Do you remember where you were when you first heard about what happened to him?
Yeah. I was in Houston. I remember vividly, man. My youngest son was getting his hair braided, and that's when I got the call. And when I got the call, the first initial call was he was shot.
Right.
Next call was, bro, it's not looking so good. And you still kind of like, nah, this ain't real. Like I'm waiting on somebody to call and say he aight. And I think I found out. Well, I found out definitely way before social media that he had passed.
What is that?
Truth taking over the show.
I was like, we've been taken over by hackers here. So all of a sudden, music playing in my headphones.
So it just kind of it killed my whole energy, man. And I was telling somebody I was doing an interview earlier. My son fed off it because I went to drop him off instantly, and I was just kind of in a blank phase. But his mother called me. She was like, "Man, I don't know what's going on, but your son been out of it. Like he been real sad, and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong." And I talked to him.
Anybody want to take that? I kind of feel for the audience at home. Might not be.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if she's gonna be able to handle it going away. Is she? Oh.
Yeah.
Now I feel like the worst person on earth. Goddamn, I'm the one who took the zebra. Oh no.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
and the Cheerios.
Come on.
Oh my god. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Pull a headband down some.
And she got polo shoes. Oh my god. She's
Let
tripping.
her go outside, babe.
Oh baby.
Yeah, so.
So cute.
She's gonna be all right in a second.
Oh man, it's so good that you have a team of big ass dudes just taking care of this baby. It's such a funny thing to look over and see.
But it's a lot of us out here.
Yeah.
She's you see her walking in the building, you see about 10 of us, you gonna know, that little girl, we don't want.
She's protected. That's so good. Okay, so where were we at? Your brother.
So Nipsey and my son energy was just he was down because he just took the vibe and the energy of how I was taking it, And I don't know, man. I was just at a blank phase for a long time, and I was getting ready to come out here, and then I was like, man, Nipsey used to be in Houston with us a lot. Like people in Houston kind of took to him as family, as us, So outside of my relationship, so I ended up doing a memorial for him before I came here. And, it was real crazy. There was thousands of people out there, and I did that. Then I came here, and I don't know, man. I've been here every step of the way. I'm still repping for him to this day.
Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed this throwback clip. If you did, show some support. Like, comment, subscribe, and head on over to nojumper.com if you want to support, or go on over to Snapchat and just search No Jumper. There's a link in the description. We've had our news show dropping a couple times per week, and I swear you're going to love it. Balling like an athlete, but got no jumper. Appreciate y'all.